Hey, you beautiful twin flames. Wow, the cards are already flipping out. How are you today? If you haven't got a cuppa yet, I would invite you to go and get one because today I'm going to do something really cool. I'm actually going to do a rice, I don't know if you can see that very well, rice and sugar reading. Okay, so this is going to be a psychic channeled message, and I'm going to use rice and sugar and maybe a few of the cards as well. So this is something really exciting that I'm looking forward to sharing with you today. There has been a lot of weirdness going on in the collective. There has been a lot of back and forth energy. There's been a lot of confusion. There's been a lot of I don't know. I think what I want to say to the divine feminine today, because most of you are divine feminines listening, but many of you perhaps have got other suitors or other people interested in you that are soulmates coming into your life right now. And I feel like many of you are kind of going, well, what do I do? Do I continue on the twin flame journey, which you can't actually get off of, but or do you go and be with a soulmate? So this is kind of where we're at the moment. There's a big crossroads happening. So I'm so excited to do this this rice and sugar reading. So I'm going to get straight into it. So just, I've got a plate. Ooh, I've got a plate, and I've got my sugar, and I've got my rice, and I'm going to get started now. So just bear with me while I check out the energies. It's kind of like a tea leaf reading, but it's just using a different medium. And I can see that many of you at the moment are really contemplating, what do I want? Is my twin flame going to give me what I need? So maybe your twin flame is ticking all the boxes in certain areas and in other areas is not. So for some of you, you might be really attracted to your twin flame. For some of you, you might feel as though you know, there's this beautiful love or this beautiful lust or this beautiful scenario going on, but it feels one-sided. It feels as though you're always, you know, trying to get their attention somehow, and you're wondering where they are. This is really interesting. A lot of you are saying, you know, where is my twin flame? Like, I thought everything was going fine, even if you just had a friendship going on. You know, I thought everything was going fine. I thought we were on the same page, and then they go missing for quite some time. So what I'm getting now is an S, okay? It's an S for security, and it's also an S for salvageability, which is a really long word. You know, can we salvage this? Can we salvage this? Can we bring it back to where it's at before, even if it's on a friendship level? And if not, do I then move forward with the soulmate? Okay, so it's all the S's are coming to me at the moment. The other thing that's happening is the divine feminine doesn't want to wait anymore. She feels like the waiting of the journey is something that, you know, she might be saying things like, you know, I'm getting too old for this. I don't want to wait anymore. Surely I deserve love right now. You know, why can't I have this fairy tale right now? Why do I have to do all these things alone? And she's really feeling the aloneness. She's really feeling the separation. You know, even if the divine masculine is coming in and out intermittently, then she's still saying, well, it's like we're separating and then coming back together, or separating and coming back together. Even if you only have a friendship thing going on with your masculine right now, that's how it feels. It feels disconnected. It feels as though you can't bring it back. Okay, and then I'm getting the word soulmates are coming in as well. So you'll be seeing, take gender how it resonates, but if you're a divine feminine that's a woman, you'll be seeing lots of male suitors coming your way. Maybe, maybe it's a blast from the past, maybe it's your ex, maybe it's, someone you haven't seen for a while, or maybe there's a new connection online. And I really feel this strongly. Many of you are caught between a rock and a hard place because, this soulmate, or for some of you, there are more than one, these soulmates are bringing in what your divine masculine should do in a romantic sense. Maybe they're being more communicative, maybe they're being more loving, maybe they're showing affection, maybe they want to spend more time with you, and this is what you've been wanting from your divine masculine. There's lots of S words today. The word snail is coming through. The divine masculine has literally been like a snail. He hasn't rushed anywhere, he's taken his time. And the divine feminine, in the purity of her essence, which is what Spirit is saying, has been really trying to not connect with these other people, but she can't help it because the attention that she's getting from the other suitors, and this might even just be, in a friendship kind of way, but she goes, wow, if only my divine masculine would do this with me, if only my divine masculine would communicate with me. And then it makes her have this realization, I can see a mountain here. It's like, I thought we'd come so far in the twin flame journey, and then I met these other people, take genders how they resonate. I met these other people, and I can see now that the effort that's coming from them is far more. But there's still this little niggling feeling where she says, my divine masculine, there's only one divine masculine. And although the universe can, if your divine masculine isn't showing up for you, the universe will send you something perhaps similar and better. But in the divine feminine's heart, she's still saying, it's not my masculine. Now, a lot of you may have the number 8 as some significant thing. It may be part of your birthday, it may be part of your divine masculine's birthday. It may also signify 8 days or 8 weeks or 8 months. But 888 is coming to me, and it's really important. It's also for abundance. And this abundance that you're going to be seeing is going to be coming to your life, in a way of in the form of money or in the form of resources of some kind. So many of you are focused on your careers. Many of you are focused on relationships and friendships with other people other than your masculine right now. And when your masculine comes in, I feel like many of you are kind of like meh, like, well, this is interesting that they're coming in now. Where were they all this time? Where were they when I emotionally needed support? Where were they when I told them I needed them and they weren't there? Because I feel like in the past, a lot of the divine feminines, have really been giving and giving and giving. I want to go like this. I want to say, like the feminine's just been giving of herself, giving of herself, giving of herself, pouring all of this love and all of these resources that she's had into the connection. And the divine masculine has either ignored it or has utilized what he found necessary, and then, kind of didn't reciprocate. There's this awkwardness on the divine masculine's part at the moment where he's not fully showing up. He's not fully bringing his A game. He might be saying that he is, but there's no real movement forward in the 3D reality as far as the feminine is concerned. But what she doesn't know is that there's something coming. Wow. Okay. So he is planning on doing something that you don't know. And this can be energetic or it can be in the physical reality. I'm going to move to the cards now because I've done what I want to do with the rice and the sugar. There's some secret that you don't know, and it's, you know, it's quite big, and it's quite I'm getting a few songs coming. Okay, so let me just channel the songs and then I'll move into the cards. Okay, so tell me, how am I supposed to live without you? Now that I've been loving you so long, tell me, how am I supposed to live without you? When all that I've been living for is gone. Yeah, he thinks that you've taken it away. He can't feel you anymore. He's longing for you, but he can't feel you, and he feels as though you're moving on. He feels as though he's been too slow, which has been the case for many of them. So for some of you, you know, you've waited years and months and days and, you know, you've been in this cycle of perpetuation. You don't know what's going on. And he's finally having this realization that I need to make a move. I need to do this. I'll be very surprised if the Chariot doesn't show up today. I'll just say that FYI. Here we have the King of Cups. So the King of Cups is, you know, I love you, I love you, I love you. But it's also this stoic energy that sort of sits back and is passive. You know, the King of Cups is highly emotional, highly intuitive, highly in touch with love, but doesn't always move. And that's been the problem, is that the love of the masculine is definitely there, but you haven't seen any movement. So let's see the Knight of Swords. You're going to see some movement here. He's going to communicate with you very soon. Can you see all those lips? There's lots of lips here. He might not necessarily be as kind as you'd like or as loving as you'd like. It's interesting that this shows up after the King of Cups. So, you know, behind the mask, behind what he doesn't show you, there's all this love. But on the outset, he might want to come across as being, you know, I've got my shit together. I know what I'm doing. I'm completely assertive or organized, or, you know, I know how to do stuff. You know, so he might come across like that. You might not have heard from him for a while. He might come in and talk to you about, I don't know, technology or something that he's interested in, you know, and you go, wow, we haven't talked for ages, and he's going blah 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 about this topic, you know. Ten of Cups in reverse. He feels as though he hasn't been as loving as he could have been. There is some guilt here. He feels as though he put you on the back burner. He feels like he was, you know, working out his own projects, you know, doing what he wanted to do, and not really giving you what you need in terms of love. And he's kind of wondering, in some cases, the divine masculine is wondering, like, why would you even put up with that? There's definitely an imbalance here of energy. The divine feminine has been giving. Again, I feel like I want to pick up the rice and the sugar and just be like this, you know. She's like, what can I do for you? Do you need this? Do you need that? You know, she's just been completely on board with him the whole way through. And this is the first time that she's really gone, I have to nurture myself. You know, I really do this time. I really can't wait for this, pie in the sky thing that may or may not come. And then we have the Eight of Cups, and the Eight of Cups is this interesting show. I want to just get my other deck and show you the traditional Eight of Cups so that you can see, because this card is really, really important actually. The Eight of Cups is really signifying what's going on with the masculine right now. And for those of you who are kind of watching this going, well, I'm kind of meh about the whole situation with my divine masculine, that's totally understandable, because he hasn't been putting in the effort. He hasn't been giving you what you need. And it's good to have a boundary, but it's also good to understand that this is your realization. This happens because there is a need for you to give yourself more. So all that self-love that you think you've given yourself, you need to add to it more. You need to do that course that you want to do. You need to start that business that you want to start. You need to, make these plans that you have been wanting to make, with or without him. I can't live with or without you. So he's been so self-focused in the recent times that he lost sight of where he was with you. And we can see in this card, it's a really poignant card, the Eight of Cups here, the Two Cups are missing. And of course the Two of Cups is that wonderful union card where both twin flames are holding the cup equally and giving equal time and equal partnership. And he's not doing that. What many of you don't know, however, is that behind the scenes in his mind and in his heart, he is doing that. So the work that he's been trying to do is inner work, but you're not seeing any action on the outer, okay? So this is great that he's taking time away from you if he's doing that. Or even if he's coming and going, this is really great, because this really shows you that he is contemplating how he's behaved. He's contemplating what he should be doing. He's contemplating, how he should show up for you and what he should do. And with the Seven of Pentacles here in reverse, we have this energy of, I was only building for myself. I was only looking out for me. I was only worrying about my money. I was only worrying about my job. I was only worrying about, it was me. It was very ego in the past. And we come to this beautiful joining energy now of the Six of Pentacles. So if you've already moved on from your masculine, you might be surprised by his comeback, because he may come in not with necessarily an apology, but he may come in a different way. He may come in more romantic, he may come in more loving, and he may come in and tell you that, look, I was staying away for a while because I had some job stuff to do. I was, I was caught up with work stuff. I was caught up with, money and family and stuff like that, physical, tangible things in the 3D reality. And of course, the divine feminine's usually pretty understanding. In the past, many of you would have gone, where are you? What are you doing? Why aren't you talking to me? And all of that. And this pattern in the feminine has changed to, well, I can't force my masculine in. I can only work on myself. And this is why the mirror is here. So when he does come in, which should be soon, and talk to you, you're going to be mirrored back the fact that you've been taking the time out for yourself. So because you've really been nurturing, because you've really been kind to yourself, this mirror will come back to you, and he will come back to you. Because of course the divine masculine is you. So as you go within, as you think about your own life and your own mission work, if that's something that you're doing, or even your own strengths and weaknesses, working through shadow stuff, working on your body, working on your diet, working on, your career, or whatever it is. This brings him back to you because you really were nurturing the self. So we have the King of Swords in reverse. Whatever went down between you two, I feel like there was some passive aggressiveness in the recent past for some of you, not all of you. I'm talking about 30% of you would have had this passive aggressiveness. Your divine masculine might have said something to hurt you, or he may have not. You may have sent him a message or something like that, and he may not have responded in a very nice way, or he may have said something to you that hurt your feelings. So an example of that might be, he might have said, I don't know, you might have said your opinion on, I don't know, politics or something like that, and said, I really like that particular politician for the future or something like that. And he might be, well, obviously you're crazy because you shouldn't like that politician. You know what I mean? Just like stuff like that. Or he may have even commented on a behavior that you've done, or even on your, like what you're wearing, on your appearance. So he might have said, you might have, I don't know, let's say you you were doing your hair one day, and I don't know, you might have put a selfie online or something, and I don't know, it's a new hairstyle, and you're on there, and you've you've taken the selfie, and he might go, wow, you're looking really amazing, but I don't like that hairstyle on you. Or you're looking really radiant at the moment, but that color that you're wearing doesn't suit you, or something to that effect, right? So he may have said something to trigger you. And of course, this is the divine checking to see whether or not you're going to react, and whether or not you're going to have a boundary with him or not have a boundary with him. Because in the twin flame journey, I think there's definitely this misconstrued conception about unconditional love, and you have to, unconditionally love your masculine. I don't think it's really possible that we do that, for the simple fact that if your masculine does something that's really wrong, or really, despicable, you've got to have a boundary so that they know that it's not okay, because you're teaching each other these lessons as you go through the journey. So if they say, I think you look amazing, but I'd never wear that shade of lipstick ever again, that would be your cue to say, well, I'm going to wear whatever lipstick I want to wear. You know what I mean? You've got to be able to have a boundary, and having a boundary doesn't mean that you're not loving them. It means that you will and won't tolerate certain things. And many of the feminines are at that stage now where they're not going to tolerate any more bullshit. They're not going to tolerate, being spoken to in a certain way, or being ignored, or being, told X, Y, and Z from their masculine, because they know and love themselves enough to know that they deserve better than that. And this is why we have this soulmate thing coming in. I keep getting told, you've got soulmates around you, friendships around you that are treating you way better than your masculine right now. And many of the divine masculine know this. And in fact, if they find out that you've been talking to other people, especially if you're romantically involved with your divine masculine, they are going to think that you've done some kind of deception to them. Okay, because they, whether they're showing up for you or not, whether they're coming in or not, they believe that you belong to them in a in a weird kind of way. So we have this death of the ego here for the feminine. The feminine isn't in her ego, but she is assertive enough to understand that she needs to have boundaries. And if someone's not treating her well, or with kindness, she's allowed to call them out. Even if that is her masculine, she is definitely allowed to. So we have the confusion card for the feminine here. Do I go with my masculine who hasn't really been showing up for me? Do I wait for him? Or do I go and find a soulmate who is maybe ready right now and maybe showing up for me in a way that I like? Your masculine is choosing to stay away from you right now. And if he's not choosing to stay away from you, he's intermittently coming in to either secretly check on you, whatever that means for you. He might be checking your social media, he might be driving past your house, he might be doing that kind of thing. But he wants you to think that he's not available. But behind all of that facade is a man who is deeply contemplating. He might not be around you, but he's deeply contemplating what he needs to give to you to make this work. Because, you know, there's a time, it's been a time of healing with the star. Healing for the feminine, healing for the masculine. You know, he's realizing who's got his back and who hasn't. When he closes his eyes at night time, quite often he thinks of the feminine, and he realizes that her loyalty to him has been second to none. You know, no one else has shown up for him and remained. You know, she's always been there with advice. She's always been there as a shoulder to cry on. She may have also needed him as a shoulder to cry on. And for those of you in total separation, you know, a lot of you are in total separation because either you are in a karmic partnership or your divine masculine is in a karmic partnership. And both of you, whoever that resonates for right now, is, you know, it's toxic. Whatever you're in, divine feminine, you're not happy in, and it's the same for the divine masculine. So we have this Six of Cups here. We're on our way to some kind of reunion, whether that is a telepathic reunion if you're in total separation, or whether this is, you know, I'm coming to see you. I'm getting June as a really important month this year for twin flames. There's a lot of sixes. I was talking about fours the other day too. There's a lot of fours and a lot of sixes. So between April and June, I feel like many of you will come into some kind of union with your masculine. It might not be full-blown happy ever after union, but there'll be some kind of recompense to the feminine for all the inner work that she's done. Because a lot of you have worked extremely hard on yourself. Let's check the bottom of the deck. Yeah, there it is, the Chariot in reverse. There's been no movement, or not much movement, for quite some time, or at least not movement that the feminine has wanted for quite some time. And I feel like this is going to turn this way if the divine feminine so chooses it. But there's been a lot of tears, there's been a lot of lonely days and nights for the feminine, and she really is reconsidering her life. You know, do I want to be with a soulmate who's going to love me right now and perhaps is even offering to love me right now, or do I want to wait for the masculine to, for many of them, they need to awaken more, you know, to realize that their future is with the divine feminine, if that makes sense. Whew, wow. So I'm going to use the other deck now, see if there's any synchronicities that come through. So bear with me, I'll just have a sip of my tea. I want to see what the divine masculine wants to say to the feminine right now. Because I know many of you are caught between a rock and a hard place, and you don't know whether to continue with your masculine or not. Because you're like, well, he's really sexy and he's really intelligent, but there's no communication. Or there's heaps of communication, but I'm not feeling I'm not feeling the chemistry, and I'm not holding on to him. But he's holding on to you. For some of them, they want to move to where you live, and they want to ground themselves in wherever that is, whatever locality that is for you. Or they could be coming to see you in the future. So let's see what he wants to say now. The divine masculine is really feeling he wants to do this commitment with you, but he feels as though you've closed off to him. She's not as open with me. She's not as loving with me. I feel there's a disconnect, and he can't work it out. He can't work out where this disconnect is coming from. And for some of the masculines, they were juggling more than one person, and the feminine could feel it energetically, and so she was like, you know what, I'm out. This could mean, that he was being a father figure or a husband to someone else. Take gender how it resonates. But she could really feel, he could really feel the disconnect. The feminine used to show me a lot more affection. The feminine used to show me a lot more love. I don't know where the passion has gone. And he finds himself wanting and wishing that the love would come back. This is literally an erection here. I still want her. I still want her, but it's really hard for me to love her when I don't feel the love being reciprocated right now. This is a really complicated and complex reading. Okay, let's see where he goes from here. Yeah, for some of them, they've had some form of depression or boredom in the recent past, which has stopped them from coming in. There is a deception here. I want to find out more about the deception. The deception is definitely that they haven't had the money to do what they wanted to do. So if they promised you they were coming, if they promised to take you out on a date, if they promised that they were going to XYZ, you can hear the birds going crazy. They're wild birds. It's all about the money. It's all about the dum dum da 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 da. I don't think it's funny to see it fade away. There's other people relying on them for money and resources, and they kind of lost energy over everything, and they didn't know what to do. So it's this feeling of, I don't really have enough. Like, I've got enough to survive. I've got enough to, I can eat and I can go out if sometimes, and that kind of thing, but it's nothing to write home about. So there's this kind of, I want to say, spirit saying there's this pregnant pause, for some of you, pregnancy might be an issue for your divine masculine's karmic. As in, they can't get pregnant, or they don't want to get pregnant, or something like that. There's something around babies here. And for some of you, your divine masculine's got babies. But this pregnant pause is, when a woman is pregnant and she sits down and she pauses to rest, it's this energy of, that's what the masculine was doing. I'm so exhausted. I'm so tired from everything. I just need to sit down. I just need to have a rest. I don't know that I've got enough energy to give that person and my job and all of these things. But in his spirit, or in his soul, he longs for you. I love this depiction of the magician here. The flowers all around him representing the feminine. She's always surrounded me with her love. She's always helped me to gain resources. She's always, said some form of the truth to me, and he has total admiration for her. And he also feels as though the feminine has, in the past especially, put him on this pedestal. You know, even if I've had no money, or even if I've had no energy, or even if I haven't been true to her in some kind of way, she's always made me feel like I'm important. She's always had time for me. She's always given her advice to me. She's always been there for me when I needed her. And, you know, he wants to show up as this dude. You know, this is the guy that, you know, the king of all kings. I've got it all together. I've got my money. I've got the love. I've got the stuff. But because of his karmic situation, he feels quite small. You know, I feel like other people rely on him. Perhaps they are children or a karmic or someone, you know, their uncles, aunties, brothers, sisters, wife is living with them or something like that, you know, and they have to take care of them. And so a lot of these blocks is what blocks off the twin flame union. And this is also what stops him coming in the physical world, right? I kind of think it's like he wants to sing it, you know, 'cause we are living in a material world, and I am a material guy. You know that we are living in a material world, and I am a material boy, right? He's just like, all these people around me, whether that's the karmic or his mother or his, you know, whoever, he's got some kind of financial obligation going on. You know, he may have a mortgage, he may have a, you know, insurance policy that he needs to pay each month. There's just this stuckness here that's going on. And yeah, it's third parties in the way, but in a monetary sense. So there's this, you know, I've got kids that I have to pay for, or I've got this karmic that I have to pay for. And, you know, like, how can I have this fantastical dream of being with the feminine, you know, and right now energetically I feel like she's like this anyway. So what's the point? It's kind of like he says, what's the point? You know, he's not feeling the love from the feminine right now because she is literally giving all of that love to other people and herself. His heart longs to be with her, but his mind kind of gets full and says, well, how do we do that with the logistics of the 3D reality? So in his heart, he knows that this is the truth. But then, you know, how do we work out all the complicated messes of coming together, even if it's just in a friendship way, or even in a, you know, a work-related sense or something like that. He feels the pressure of other people relying on him right now. And for many of you, your masculines took a break of about a month from you in the recent past. You know, was kind of like no talkie for a little while. And the feminines were kind of like, well, this hurts me, but I have to move on. So the feminine has this idea of, I feel like she's got like a date, you know, like if he doesn't XYZ by June the 16th, let's just say for fun, then I'm out. I'm going to move on with a soulmate. I'm going to move on with a different project. I'm going to move on with my life. And he knows it. He's known it for quite some time. If I don't show up in some kind of way, I'm going to lose her. I'm going to lose her. That's me in the corner. That's me in the spotlight, losing my religion. Trying to keep an eye on you, like a hurt, lost and blinded fool. Oh no, I've said too much. I haven't said enough. He definitely hasn't said enough. The feminine doesn't know where she stands. He's been out there doing other things. I don't know, maybe he goes away for work. Maybe he travels for work. Maybe he's just over there doing that thing. And the feminine's gone, you know what? This is kind of getting toxic, because if someone really wanted to show up for me, they'd show up for me. And you notice the devil is on top here with the Wheel of Fortune, you know. Let him have his karmic, whatever it is. Let him be with his karmic. Let him go with that job. Let him do that thing. And he's exhausted from it all. So if you're not hearing from your masculine, he's exhausted. He's mentally exhausted, physically exhausted, emotionally exhausted. For some of them, they're depressed. They've had burdens going on. You know, how do they show up for you as the Knight of Cups here when they're just, you know, depressed or knackered, or for some of them, they've been unwell. Nothing serious, just, you know, I had a little accident, nothing too serious. Take a look at this place, take a look at this mess. Nothing too serious. If you close your eyes, it may go away. Nothing too serious. We can do it again some other day. Nothing too serious. I feel like he wants to go, you know, like really scream. Screaming masculine. If you close your eyes, it may go away. This is his reality. Nothing too serious. We can do it again some other day. Nothing too serious, right? I'm putting stuff on the back burner right now because I'm just not feeling up to it. And there's the karmic. Some karmic woman here in the recent past not making him feel $1,000,000, right? Taking his resources, utilizing him in some kind of way that makes him tired. For some of them, energetically being with their karmic is making them tired. If this is happening for you, you can get in contact with me and I can help you with that. I can also remove this if you or your loved ones or your masculine has had that and regrets it. There's a whole lot of things I can help you with energetically, which will bring things to you in the 3D reality. There's just one last message. The Divine Masculine has a secret that he wants to share with you. I'm sorry for such a long reading. I hope you're not sick of me yet. Wow. I'm sick of listening to my own voice and Donkey's saying, hurry up. He's there somewhere. Can you see him? He's hiding behind the tree. Can you see him now? There he is. He's hiding behind the tree. He's saying, get Ken some pants, for God's sake. All I can see is balls in my face every day. Wow. 7 of Wands. Yeah, this is, you know, the world right now is not a playground. The world right now is difficult. The world right now is this feeling of, you know, I need to have my shield up. I need to you know, I'm confused by this. This whole world situation has got me confused. You know, how do I be happy in all of this? How is the world a happy place right now? You know, he secretly can't stand what's happened in the world. You know, I just want to feel at home. I just want to be at home. I just want to enjoy my life. You know, I want to be honest. I want to work. I want to enjoy things. But it's just weird. You know, the whole thing's weird. And then the High Priestess shows up here. The feminine, you're in reverse here. You know, you haven't really been tapping into your masculine very much of late. You're like, he can do what he wants to do. I'm not really interested in this love. Because the feminine needs to see action in the physical reality. So she's kind of doing her own thing, and it's interesting how she's showing up here. The masculine wanted to speak, but the feminine's coming on top of that saying, you know what, he can do what he likes. I don't own him. I don't own the physical aspect of him. So for some of you, you are angry with your masculine. For some of you, you understand that they are on their own journey. And for some of you, you are ready to start a fresh life with a karmic, a soulmate. A soulmate. I'm ready to start a new game, a new game with someone else who really wants to be with me, who really wants to spend the time with me, who really is interested in, you know, what I post on social media, who really wants to have conversations with me, who wants to, you know, hold my hand under the starlight, you know. And so this nurturing that the feminine brings now is beautiful. She just says, it's okay. Everything is okay how it is, and I'm just going to keep nurturing my garden and the gardens of people around me who are kind and loving and who are part of my soul tribe. This is a really beautiful reading, actually. Right? Let the divine masculine sort himself out. Many of you are so quick to run to your masculines to help them when they're not giving the same reciprocal energy back to you. And if you need some help with this, please contact me. My details are in the description box below. I'm now doing an hour and a half sessions so that we can really get to the crux, get to the bottom of what's going on with you and your masculine. And I've got those spots are filling up fast. So if you need to get in contact with me to work with me one-on-one, I suggest you do that as soon as you know that you want to, okay? So even if you book next Friday, you wouldn't have to make the payment until next Friday. So if that's a thing that you're worrying about with regards to, you know, payment and things. So I just think I've got one more channeled song to bring you. And then I'll go. Okay, just let me tap in. I don't really want to go where you don't follow. Da 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 da. Do do do. I don't know the words. Do this passion inside can't run from myself. There's nowhere to hide. I'm not Whitney Houston. So don't make me close one more door. I don't want to hurt anymore. Stay in my arms if you dare. Or must I imagine you there? Don't walk away from me. I have nothing if I don't have you. Interesting that she says, stay in my arms if you dare, or must I imagine you there? Don't walk away from me. I have nothing if I don't have you. But the feminine has come to realize that the masculine is always inside of her heart. So no matter where she goes around the world, it doesn't matter. He's there anyway, right? He resides in her heart space all of the time. Many of you have got a long way to go with regards to the perception of your masculine. A lot of you are in that thinking of, I unconditionally love them. We are all one. The spiritual aspect of we are all one is kind of something that spiritualists, I feel, have really got wrong, actually. We definitely all come from a place of source energy, but we also have this dualistic nature within inside of ourselves. We all have a shadow side, and we all have a light side, and depending on what side of yourself that you're tapping into will be how you see the world and how you view the world. And perception is a really important thing. I was talking about this before. We can have half glass full or half glass empty, and even if you're not negative or positive, or maybe you're just balanced and you think, well, I'm not half glass full or empty, I'm just balanced, which is great. You still want to shed your ego so that you can have a balanced look at your masculine. Some of you, who are madly in love with your masculines in the romantic sense, go, oh, he can do no wrong. He's so amazing. Even if he doesn't talk to me for 559 days, I still unconditionally love him. And for many of you, I'm giving you the wake-up call. If you've stayed with me this long, I'm giving you this little wake-up call so that you understand that you still need to have boundaries in your physical reality. You can't sit there and wait for someone who isn't showing up for you in the 3D reality. And we need to go deeper and find out why they're not showing up for you. Because for some of you, it's literally just this perception of, divine timing is at play, and we are all one, and one day he'll just rock up on my doorstep, as if I'm Cinderella, and he'll have that, long lost shoe to fit onto my foot, and he'll say, oh wow, you are my Cinderella. So I don't want you to have this fantastical idea of the twin flame journey for those of you who are experiencing that, because that is certainly not what is going on here. As we well know, and Donkey will tell you that it's time to sing Joyful, Joyful before we go. He says, don't believe a word your divine masculine says unless Nat tells you to. Okay, ready? Are we ready? Let's sing Joyful, Joyful. Donkey's going to help. Ready? Okay. Joyful, joyful, Lord, we adore you. God of glory, God of light. Hearts unfold like flowers before you. By the way, what have you done for him lately? Ooh, 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 yeah. He says, Donkey says, God might be a woman. Ooh, what have you done for him lately? For her lately? Ooh, 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 yeah. Joyful, joyful, Lord, we adore you. God of glory, God of light. Hearts unfold like flowers before him. By the way, what have you done for him lately? Wow, Donkey, what have you been eating? Ooh, 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 yeah, it doesn't look like food. What have you done for him lately? Ooh, 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 ooh. Ready? Come and join the chorus, the mighty, mighty chorus. La, 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 la. Joyful, joyful, Lord, we adore you. God of glory, God of light. Hearts unfold like flowers before him. By the way, what have you done for him lately? Woo! Ooh, hoo, 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 yeah. Donkey says if you want a reading from Donkey, check out the description box, because that's also a thing. You can have a reading with Donkey. Have a great afternoon, day, what is it? Have a great day, night, afternoon, evening, or morning, wherever you are in the world. Don't forget to stay in your heart space, stay in your joy. Don't be mad at the little things, and have a really wonderful, beautiful day wherever you are in the world. Mwah, and I'll talk to you real soon. Bye, everyone. Bye.